Hello everyone, it is your girl Char from Lotus Livin with Char. Hope everybody is well today. I am here with my friend of the show and co-host Mercedes. So we gonna get right into it. We're gonna get right into it today because let me tell you, we have discussion upon discussion. Apparently, I just had a whole little moment in regards to what we're going to discuss today on Lotus Livin with Char. However, you know, we always start our show off with talk your shit, right? Talk your shit, yes. With my co-host. I can't introduce her better than she can introduce her. I just told you her name.
This time, just my first name. Because remember, last time was government exposure.
I learned from the last. Let me tell y'all something. I'm a work in progress.
Yes.
This podcast thing has taught me a lot about myself. It has taught me a lot about the business of podcasting, programming, being prepared, all types of things. And one of the things is to say the first name first. The first name or the attribute or the nickname, and then allow the person through the segment that was the point of talking shit to express whether they wanted the folks to know first name, last name, middle name, credentials. I just took that authority, and so I'm not doing that anymore. I've learned, and that is the goal, to learn.
Yeah.
So now I know. That's why I said Mercedes. So Mercedes, talk your shit. Who are you? Tell the people who might be tuning in for the very first time of Lotus Livin with Char who you are.
I'm gonna keep it cute this time. Because last time I was on 10. Even though I got
Stay on 10.
Even though I got the espresso on me, I'm kind of like on 20. But I'm gonna do a quick summary. My name is Mercedes. You can call me Sadie. You can call me Mercy. Do not call me anything with a Benz. I wasn't named after the car. Okay. It's Aquarius season. I'm an Aquarius. I do astrology, I do nails, and I also work at one of the best black-owned, black women-led wellness retreats in the world. If you don't know what it is, I ain't gonna tell you. Just Google it. In Philly.
Yes.
And that's who I am. That's who I am.
Talk your shit.
Period.
But then she not only talk her shit, she talk the shit of others. In a good way. Because I know sometimes talking shit, me, a person talk. No, this is all good shit here. We do good shit here at Lotus Livin with Char. It's all about, you know, the good and having conversation. If you don't mind, I'm gonna talk my shit a little bit today.
I was about to say, can you talk your shit?
Can I talk my shit a little bit today? My name is Char Andrews. I am a licensed psychotherapist. I have a number of credentials. Let me run it all down for you, because sometimes you will see my name and you'll see comma, and sometimes
the whole alphabet.
Listen, sometimes people don't know what they are. So let me tell you, I'm an LPC, that is a licensed professional counselor. I am licensed here in PA and New Jersey. Okay, I provide mental health and wellness treatment to people in the community, all people. My goal of my practice, which is the Lotus Well Counseling Services and Wellness Retreat, is to provide mental health treatment to the community. It's all about accessibility. My goal is to make sure that people have what it is that they need. We utilize the 8 dimensions of wellness as that platform to do so in order to create, and sustain balance in a person's life. You might also see LBS behind my name. That means licensed behavior specialist. It's a mental health credential. One, for those of my professionals tuning in today, only Pennsylvania really pays attention to. It really is not going to do me any justice in any other state. But hey, I got it. So, it is what it is, but it's a mental health credential. Also, CESP. I am a certified employment support professional. One of the things that we do at the Lotus Well is provide employment support and training to individuals that may have intellectual disabilities, who may be on the spectrum of autism, who also may be blind and visually impaired, deaf and hard of hearing. Our goal is to make sure that we train and expose and support individuals who want a job who may fit any of those categories. ACS, you may see ACS behind my name. That means approved clinical supervisor. A part of what I do as an entrepreneur and a businesswoman, yes, I have the Lotus Well, which is my private practice. But once upon a time when I started my practice, I was called Journey to Lotus. That is how it all started. And Journey to Lotus now has been rebranded to be a consulting firm where I do a lot of clinical supervision, professional development, workshops, seminars, and things in order to prepare our future therapists of tomorrow and of today. And so the ACS supports in that regard. It's an extra credential. As a licensed professional, I can supervise other individuals who are master's level or students who are pursuing their licensure in or degrees in counseling and social work. However, the ACS was an extra step that I took. I took a college course to learn how to better be a better clinical supervisor, and was able to apply to this credential that says I have a step above some of the other professionals out here who are supervising. And last but not least, I know that was a lot already, right? I'm talking my shit right now. Let me lean into it because I don't do it often. Let me lean into it. Last but not least, it says JD, which is the Juris Doctor. That means I went to law school and I graduated from law school and I have a law degree. And we want to let that sit right there for a second, because I do use my law degree in varying ways, particularly now as a business person. I utilize it a lot in navigating, red tape and things within the business industry. However, my goal later on is to merge mental health and the law together. There is a piece, some of the things, and I'm actually going to talk more about this in my other YouTube channel for the helping professional. So that is coming also. But one of the things that I really want to talk about that a lot of people don't know of is the somewhat of the legal process when it comes to individuals who have, mental illness. So, crisis interventions, what is the difference between a 302, an involuntary commitment, and a 201? A lot of individuals who are caregivers of people with mental illness don't really know the terminology or what to do if they have a person who's in a crisis situation who, they may need to call crisis for, or this person, if they're involuntarily committed, don't know that there's a mental health court. And not only is there a mental health court, but there's a civil mental health court, and then there's a criminal mental health court. Two totally different things.
I never knew that.
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yeah. So, just getting that information out there a little bit more, talking about that process. One of the things I'm extremely passionate about at this point, well, not at this point, but that I think people don't really talk about it a lot, are psychiatric advance directives. So, in the medical field, an advance directive is, a legal document that pretty much tells an institution, a medical institution, and this is what, if I am in a medical crisis, so, of course, if you're unconscious or, you can't make medical decisions, this is what I want done. This is what I want the medical team to do. And oftentimes this is what I want my spouse, my caregivers, my parents to do when I can't speak for myself in regards to my medical health and medical decisions. So just like there are medical advance directives, there are psychiatric advance directives, and it has the same premise. When people hear me talk about mental health, oftentimes I use the medical field as a way to, compare the two, because they're very much relatable. Yeah. People understand and respect, I think, a little bit more the medical field and the processes there versus the mental health field. It's, I don't want to say new, but it's not talked about as often.
Right. But it is kind of new. Like, do you think we've been talking about mental health for like 20 years now?
I think depending on the environment that you're in, when it comes to the exposure that society has, the community has, lay individuals who are not in the mental health industry,
Right.
it sounds new,
Yeah.
right? And I think one of the things that catapulted that was social media. Social media
And knowing the terms.
Just knowing the terms.
Yeah.
You know, knowing the terms, what it is, how it works. Like, I think that part is new. This particular information, of course, it's not new to me, and it's not new to the people in the industry. But, you know, for, you know, individuals like yourself who are extremely intelligent and who is in the know about a lot of different things, to know that, oh, you know, I didn't know it was a difference between a civil mental health court or a criminal mental health. You wouldn't. Like, that's,
right.
It's just not something like, you know, I've seen people are like, oh, let me learn about. You know what I mean? Like, some people don't even know, like, mental health law is a thing. I have a whole textbook, y'all, on mental health law right in the next room. It is a thing. It is a thing. I mean, because you don't really see a lot of lawyers saying, oh, I want to be a mental health lawyer. You know, that's not a regular situation. Yeah. So psychiatric advance directives, just, you know, being able to educate people about what they are, what their use is, and to highly encourage them to develop one. You know, the goal in a psychiatric advance directive is to develop one, put it in place while you're lucid and clear. Right. So that if for whatever reason you're ever in a psychiatric crisis and do not have the capacity to make certain decisions about your care and everything else, not just about your psychiatric care, but, you know, who are going to take care of your pets, you know, who's going to pay your bills while you may be in the hospital, if that's the case, or some other situation, you can put all of the key players in place. And so, yeah, that would be my goal when it comes to the JD, is that I want to be able to, and I am, don't get me wrong, I am doing this. Psychoeducation and the law is extremely important to me, you know, for people to be able to understand their rights. You have rights as a patient, you have rights as an individual and as a human. So just like having more of those conversations, you know, bringing people in that is in this field, which is limited. It's not a lot of people in that particular area, but to be able to, you know, connect them with people in the community so that if they have further questions, they can talk about them. This is probably the longest talk your shit segment that we've had thus far. Usually it's like a hit or miss, but, you know, I feel like we need to lean in it and take the time to let the people know. Yes. We got a lot to offer over here at Lotus Livin with Char.
Yes.
I like to offer.
Have you ever talked your shit before?
Oh my God, I never talked my shit
before. Y'all didn't even know who this woman was until she just talked her shit.
I never. Well, people, I'm sorry that I didn't even give you all of myself. But now you have just a snippet of who Char is. Well, thank you. I feel good about it right now. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm here for it because that's what we do at Lotus Livin.
Yes.
So, wellness experience. Lotus Livin is all about, you know, being well, finding balance within the 8 dimensions of wellness. Has there been a wellness experience, Mercedes, that you've, you know, had within the last week or two that stood out to you?
Yes. You look laughing.
Oh my goodness.
You seen Megan Thee Stallion in the gym.
Yes, I have.
So I've been on TikTok, but I've been trying to change my algorithm to like fitness and stuff like that. Okay. And then I had started following these black women who are like focused on eating protein throughout the day to like grow their glutes and their thighs. Okay. So like now I'm like in my protein bag. Okay. Cause I just want to see if it's gonna give me a BBL without the knife.
You know what?
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you want to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, make yourself like whatever you want. If you can do it naturally,
I'm here.
So I've been eating more vegetables and I've been making my little creative recipes and I'm just trying to see what's gonna work. Yeah. So like my physical health.
I'm here for it.
Like the big thing now. So
I'm here for the physical health. Huge. Let me tell you something. The physical health dimension right now is a huge part of my life. It resonated with me when you said, you know, do it the natural way without getting, you know, like any type of cosmetic surgery. And this is no shade.
The BBL. No shade the BBL, but
yeah. No shade at all. Because I think at the end of the day, it is important for men and women right? Because I know a lot of times the light is shined on women who, you know, undergo these cosmetic surgeries and other surgeries. However, don't sleep on the men. The men out here doing it too. And guess what? It's no shade. Listen, listen, it's no shade at all. My thing is, don't be shining the light if you're not gonna shine the light on everybody.
Right.
Okay. Because the men and women both are engaging in, you know, cosmetic surgeries and other type of surgeries. But I think you should do whatever it is that you feel like you need to do to be well. Whatever that looks like for you. Everybody's decision is different. You may or may not know at this point, depending on where you're kind of tuning in with this podcast right now. But I've been, you know, very vocal about the fact that I did undergo bariatric surgery not that long ago, and it was a decision that I felt like was the best decision that I had to make for myself. Now, bariatric surgery is not the decision that everybody, you know, a good choice for everyone. Right. The bariatric surgery I had is VSG. That is vertical sleeve gastrectomy. That is what it's called. So I got the sleeve. So when folks say, you know, oh, I got the sleeve, or if they're referring to it, it is the sleeve that I got. At this point, depending on where you're tuning in, I'm 71 pounds down.
Period.
Let me talk my shit again real quick. Let's go back real quick.
Lock that tea.
Let me go back for a second. 71 pounds. That ain't no lightweight.
No,
and let me tell you, sometimes people, you know, I follow quite a, you know, I kind of got over obsessed a little bit with, you know, when in preparing for that surgery and now of following people who have had the surgery. So I follow so many different individuals on YouTube, on Instagram, and for a number of different reasons, just because I feel like now that I'm in that, you know, group, it's a relatable experience, because a lot of the things that they talk about, I'm like, oh my God, I went through that too. Or dang, I'm sorry you went through that. I didn't go through that. It's so many different things, but you know, it's relatable in the sense that they went through the same thing that I did, or at least had the same surgery. So a lot of the things that they're talking about, I'm like, oh, okay. But also a lot of the people that I follow have great recipes and different, you know, tools that I found even now very useful in this new lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle. But you know, a lot of times, you know, in comments on YouTube and, you know, on certain pages, everybody is not nice, and we're gonna get into that in the topic when we talk about when we talk about some of these some things going on in our communities right now in our world. People are not nice. People are not nice. And I don't even know what to say about that. But, you know, a lot of the feedback sometimes is that, you know, VSG was easy. You know, it's the easy way out versus dieting and exercising.
But that's not true.
It's not.
Everybody has a different body type. Like, I have one of my friends, she recently she got a tummy tuck, and she was very vocal about it. But a lot of her family was like, why are you getting a tummy tuck? Why don't you just go to the gym? And she's like, I've been going to the gym 5 days a week for the past 6 months, and this fupa is just not going. Like, I'm doing everything that I can. And it's like, I don't think surgery in any form is any easy way out. Don't you get put under anesthesia?
Yes.
So, like, you got the opportunity to not wake up.
Yes.
And then it's like, if you have a family, you got to still deal with your family as you're going through your healing process. Like, that's not the easy way out to me.
It's not.
It's eating healthy is an easy way to get the process started. Working out is an easy way to get the process started. But any type of change is never an easy way out of anything.
It's not. It's not. And I think that, you know, you hit the nail on the head at this point. Like, no decision that you make for yourself, especially when it's extremely impactful in your overall wellness and well-being, is easy. I don't think under any circumstance, like you said, going under the knife is easy. I think that it wasn't even the procedure. It was that for me. If I was scared of anything, it was going under anesthesia. And mind you, I've gone under anesthesia several times before. I've had all my wisdom teeth taken out. You know, this wasn't my first rodeo. However, my first rodeo with 3 children. And that's all I could really consider at the time, like that apprehension, like, oh my God. Like, of course, you know, I had prayer warriors out there. It was like, I didn't doubt like I would wake up or anything like that. This real shit. But I was scared. That was the fear. However, I did wake up 71. I didn't wake up 71 pounds lighter, but over time.
Yes, but you woke up.
I woke up, and you know, it is a lifestyle change. I think one of the most challenging things that I've ever had to do. One of the most rewarding, but it still is work. The surgery is not what catapults you into like a life.
Right. It's like the first step.
It's the first step.
Yeah.
You know, it helps you know, create an opportunity for you to kind of grab it and go. But I still gotta eat well. I still have to exercise. I still have to make great decisions. And one of the things that really I pay attention to is paying attention to my body. You know, there are some things that I can't eat no more. Even when I went to, my body is like, Char, you can't eat that no more. You can't drink that no more. You can't, you know, and being able to listen and respond accordingly.
Right, and not going
and
against it. Like, it's a lot, like
Exactly.
you just said, change is not easy to come
At
by.
all.
So it's like, if I like Cane's chicken fingers and french fries, and you telling me I can't eat Cane's chicken fingers and french fries, it's up to me to make the choice to say,
that's right.
Okay, I'm going to either risk it all and do this,
Correct.
or I'm going to find a different way. And it's like, that's something that I struggle with like trying to be vegan and then not being vegan. It's like, I love vegetables, but that chicken wing.
I'm telling you, ain't nothing like that chicken wing. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Now, I'm so glad that my body didn't say Char, no chicken, because it didn't say that. Because if anybody know me, know chicken is my go-to.
Chicken and seafood.
Chicken and seafood. Now, if I had to choose, as much as I love seafood, I would still have to go with the chicken wing. I'm sorry. And you know, and so what my body does say is, Char, you can only eat 1 chicken piece, not even a whole wing. Sometimes I can get through a wing right now where I am in the process. I know this is not going to always be. But I used to ka-chow down 4 wings from the Chinese store.
Like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing.
Listen.
Give me Kim seafood on, what's that street? On board in it'll come to me in a second. Give me Kim seafood any day. 4 wings. As a matter of fact, I'll do 3 wings, 3 pieces of fish, some cheese fries with no problem. Let me tell you, that platter now will last me 3-4 days.
Period. That's progress. That's growth. That's growth.
3-4 days.
That's growth.
Not because I don't want to eat the whole
Right,
thing.
because your body's like, man.
But my stomach say, Char, you can eat 1 wing and you might have a fry if you choose to. But sis, you're not going to eat all that today. And that's fine, because I've been able to save quite a bit of money eating out, right? So, but yes, the physical dimension, that is awesome. I'm glad that you are finding your groove. There's nothing wrong with trying different things out in a natural capacity to, you know, make yourself feel and look the way you want to. Yeah. It's about how you want to look and feel. So I'm here for the natural BBL. Pass some of that over to me.
That's why I'm trying it now, because I'm making a Google Doc for all my loved ones.
Yes,
they wanna, you know, if it work, everybody gonna have it.
I'm a part of the loved ones. She's talking about me.
Period.
All right. Feel good.
So when you see me outside, you like, don't even say nothing. Don't even say nothing. Just keep walking.
No, don't keep walking. You can. Don't keep walking. You can compliment. Oh wait a minute, Mercedes, you got a little chunky dome.
Not a chunky dome. Not a badonka dome.
Listen,
that's what I'm
about to compliment me. Don't just walk back. Compliment me.
I'm an Aquarius. I'm a little shady. It's like, why are you complimenting me? What do you want?
No, give me the
compliment. What do you want right now? Do you want the Google Doc?
Let me tell you.
Do you want the Google Doc?
My love language language is words of affirmation.
Yes.
So, and that annoys my husband. It really does, because he's not a person who, if you know him, you know what I mean. He's not a person who, likes to like give praise and compliments. But look, the other day, right? Let me just share this quick story since she bringing up. Don't just keep walking. No, this is funny. Let me tell you, the other day, we laying in the bed watching TV, right? And he just so happened to go like this to my shoulder, was like, I feel a lot of bone right here. He was like, I feel a lot of bone. Like, what? Yeah, brother, I have bones under this.
Yeah, brother.
You can see my skeletal structure.
Yes.
I'm here for it's a bone. What you thought was holding my shoulder up?
The chicken wings.
It's a bone, brother.
Child.
It's a bone.
Yes.
He seemed like so. It was almost like a floored response.
Yeah.
He even had to tell my dad the other day that he came over, like, yo, like I felt a bone right here. Well, everybody got that bone.
Yes.
Anywho, I got you.
Listen.
People.
Listen.
Anyway, wellness experience. So this past, I've had a wellness experience. I would like to shout out my girl Nakia at Vtox. She has a spa-like experience. She's all about educating women about wellness. She actually has a group called the Black Spa Girls Club.
Okay.
I believe that's what it's called. Sorry, Nakia, if I messed it up. However, she has like a little spa-like experience that you can go to, and she likes to educate women about womb health and how important our vaginas are, and all of those things. And so I was able to go there and get a foot scrub. And the products that she used were like absolutely amazing. It was the first time in a while, because like for the past few weeks it's just been like so much going on, not only in my life but really like at work. And I was able to just like sit still for a second, sit still, listen to some music, have my feet in this basin of this, peppermint ginger gel. And it was just like,
that sounds so good.
Sometimes you just gotta sit down.
Yeah.
I know.
Did she just say that? The woman that never sits down unless she getting a foot scrub or a pot, or she going Lotus Livin with Char. Yes, it's important to just sit down and be.
That is true. Let me tell you something. This Lotus Livin is about transcending your adversity. One of the barriers for me is the fact that I have a hard time sitting down. And you know what? Lotus Livin is about awareness.
Yeah.
I am aware of it, and I am attempting my best.
Yes.
To try to find a balance there between sitting still, just enjoying the moment, putting a little bit more attention to, my needs, and clocking out when I'm really supposed to clock out, clock in when I'm supposed to clock in. And it's a process. But thank you, Vtox. The foot scrub was amazing. I am actually, Lotus Livin is doing a spa tour this year, and that was actually my first stop for January. So yes, you'll hear more of my wellness experience. It is in Balakenwood.
Okay.
In West Philly. Yes, Balakenwood. Absolutely. So thank you. All right, awesome. So let's get into some of this news. Let me tell you, this segment is a segment that I'm extremely proud of right now, because I want to be able to engage all of you who have taken the time to come and sit with us and listen to us and watch us if you're watching via YouTube, all of these things. So I appreciate that. So I want to make sure that if we're talking about the dimensions of wellness, that we encompass things that are happening in our communities, in our city, in our states, in our world, and kind of throw them in these dimensions so that you can kind of get an idea of how these 8 dimensions are applied to our entire lives. Everything that we're doing, everything that is going on, and nobody is absolved from these dimensions and trying to find balance. So this segment is called Wellness in the Streets, or lack thereof. Why? Because as much as we want to promote the wellness fashion of this, some of these don't really meet the full criteria of being well. And we're going to talk about it and potentially offer an assessment, a tool or tip or two on how we can rebalance it to be well. Yeah. Okay? So let's get into it. We're going to knock out a couple of the dimensions today. Let us start off with the social dimension. So for those of you who are just tuning in, who may not know, just a reminder, the social dimension is all about our relationships. The relationships that we have with our families, with our friends, with our colleagues, right? It's all about that human engagement. And the goal, the idea is that as humans, as, mammals, we, do need and require interactions with other people. However, we know that sometimes our interactions are not always the healthiest. And our goal is to make sure that not only are we engaging with others, in our community in general, but that we're doing it in a very positive way. And that we're doing what we can to make sure that all of our relationships are as healthy as possible. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things that's going on. First and foremost, Cat Williams. Can we talk about Cat Williams for a second?
Yes, we can talk about Cat Williams.
Let me say this. I love Cat Williams. Can I say that?
Mm-hmm. You can say whatever you want.
Pretty much. Like, this is Lotus Livin with Char. I can pretty much say whatever I want.
Yes.
Everybody else doing it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I'm following the leader.
Right, but she won't say
what I'm saying is this is Lotus Livin. We don't hold,
We say what we say.
We say what we say. What they say, stand on business.
Yeah, stand 10 toes down on business.
10 toes.
It's
and I got all mine. No shade to anybody who's talking. This is the shenanigans. We're supposed to be getting this. Oh my God. I can see how that is just going to get thrown off somewhere else.
And it better not.
But it's going to be. Why? Because Cat Williams then made history of all histories. He just did an interview not too long ago with Shannon Sharp, Club Shay Shay.
I love that.
I love Club Shay Shay.
Yeah,
I love your podcast. Your podcast is amazing. It's very entertaining. I think he pretty much gets touches on like a lot of different things. Yeah. And the people, everybody that he's had on the show up to this point that I've seen have been like people I'm like, oh, I like them.
And Shannon Sharp used to play basketball, right?
Football.
Okay, well listen, for an athlete, very well spoken. I never said I was a fan of sports, okay?
Yeah, me neither. I'm not either.
Don't come on the show trying to come at me. I like whatever team's winning, okay? I like to be in the vibe of winning. So I'm with whoever's winning. But
She not from Philly.
I am from Philly.
No, I wanted to try to save her.
Listen, when being honest, like gets you kicked off the knob. That's what it's gonna be. But listen, shout out to the Eagles, shout out to the Sixers, shout out to the Phillies, shout out to the Flyers,
shout out all Philly teams,
shout out to the little leagues, the big leagues. Shout out to all them. But Shannon Sharp, you're doing a great job as an athlete who's like, you're running a podcast and you're very well spoken.
Very well spoken.
Because sometimes them concussions, child. Yes, they have you. What?
CTE is a thing, y'all. Maybe I'll talk about that on.
No shade for anybody with CTE. No shade. Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's what the episode will be called. No shade to anybody.
There we go. We were trying to figure out. I swear, in our little huddle before the show, I was like, okay, we're just gonna go ahead and rock with what we talking about today. We usually come up with the name of the episode after the episode airs, because sometimes I don't always know what the name of the episode is gonna be. That's a good one. No shade to anybody.
Yes, I like it.
But yeah, Shannon, thank you so much for giving us what the people want. And apparently the people wanted Cat Williams. And Cat shared a lot of things. This is one of the longest episodes to date of Club Shay Shay. And I witnessed, just like you witnessed and the whole Black culture witnessed, this went very viral on social media because the premise of the Cat Williams interview was that he was sharing a lot of tea and coffee. It wasn't just tea. It was tea, coffee, soda, water. Yeah. He was giving us all the libations at this point. And I think what I took from it, and why I'm putting it under the social dimension here, is because, again, social dimension is about relationships, how we engage with people. As much as I love Cat Williams, I think he's hilarious. I myself have went to at least 2 Cat Williams stand-up shows. And we'll probably come to this next one for sure. He's going to be at the Leopold Center. When? I don't know the date, but it's soon.
Okay. Not the Leopold. Don't remind me of it. Keith Sweat was supposed to be at the Leopold Center, so don't even remind me.
Mercedes is a little upset. She was going to see Keith Sweat for Valentine's Day.
No, it was supposed to be. I'm going to see Juvenile on Valentine's Day. He's gonna be at the Brooklyn Bowl. And I got an extra ticket if you ain't doing nothing. But I was supposed to see Keith Sweat on the 22nd, and he canceled. So it's just how deep is my love right now? It's not very deep. I'm very upset with you, Keith Sweat. Thank you.
All right, well, Keith. We're not going to talk about Keith Sweat right now.
No, we're going to get back to Cat Williams.
We're going to get back to Cat Williams. But I just got to say, only the people that are our age is going to even know who Keith Sweat is. This is the point. This is the thing. That's why I said we're not even going to talk about Keith Sweat, because I have to introduce Keith Sweat. We have younger people out here in this audience right now who don't even know who Keith Sweat is, who LSG was. So you can't throw people in there without me telling the folks who they are.
Listen, Google and find out who he is.
Just real quick, Keith Sweat is an R&B singer from way back before some of y'all probably even tuned in. Even though I feel like, this podcast is gravitating, I'm sure, to people our age, grown folks. Mm-hmm. But if you're a younger folk, Google
Keith Sweat,
and you'll also know why he canceled the show. But anyway, no shade to anybody. No shade. These are Keith Sweat. Back to Cat.
Yes.
So, Cat spilled a lot of tea. He was he name dropped many folks in the industry of comedy. Of course, there is feedback. There was a lot of feedback from folks who were actually mentioned. There was none from some, but everybody had something to say. Yeah. Everyone, even those who weren't mentioned at all, seemed to have something to say. What I want to say in regards to the interview is that be careful. Be careful of who you develop a relationship with. And this is not necessarily in regards to Cat, like, be careful or mindful of individuals, who you engage with. I think we should all be careful about who we allow in our circle.
Period.
Who we allow in our space. What we are saying to people. Someone is always watching.
Yeah, what we're doing to people.
What we're doing
like
to
you think
people.
Somebody doesn't see, but people see and people remember.
That's right. I think people see, people remember, people observe, even when you don't think that they're paying attention,
They're paying attention.
they're paying attention. They're paying attention. If I'm going to go into my quick mental emotional bag real quick, I think a lot of what Kat shared, it seems just from an outsider looking in, because of course I don't know him personally. Right. I don't know any of the individuals that he mentioned personally. Right. I can't speak to what he was saying was true, was untrue. I don't know. Right. However, the motivation for it, I think, came from probably a lot of hurt, a lot of disappointment, a lot of, sometimes when you're a person, and this is, of course, this is not coming out of a place to condone or not condone, because I think there's a time and a place for everything, right? Podcasts, as much as they can be informational, is still entertainment. Yeah. And we need to keep that in mind sometimes. Even when it comes, Lotus Livin with Char is not absolved from being entertaining. That is why we share laughs and we share jokes and things, as much as we want to inform the folks. But keep that in mind, especially when it comes to pop culture and popular culture or the black culture or whatever, culture in general as far as society, and looking at shows and listening to radio shows and other podcasts and all of those things, movies, shows, everything. It's entertainment, right? Yeah. So there may be a foundation of truth, but may not necessarily, we don't know if it's what's truth and what's not anymore. Right. However, one of the things that I thought about was just the motivation for it. Sometimes when you're a person who don't feel that you've had as much support from others, sometimes when you don't feel like people treat you the way you would treat them, we become resentful.
Very resentful. I think, is Cat Williams an Aquarius? And I only say that because it's the age of Aquarius right now. So from an astrological standpoint, it's the age of Aquarius. So I'm gonna tell you, it's a lot of exposure that's happening right now. And it's like we've been kind of just coasting with all the BS, and a lot of people are tired of coasting that way. So it's like with this age of Aquarius, it's a lot of big industries that's being exposed. But the thing I will say about Cat Williams is I'm more so like, okay, well, what is going to be said about him? Because as much as there's entertainers that's like, I never did this, I never did that, and he's saying, I never did this, I never did that. Well, what did you do? Because the industry is some BS. Like, especially to black people, it's some BS. Like, it's a lot of, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Like, it's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. These big shots, they got astrologists, they got astronomers, they looking at the stars to see which day can I do X, Y, and Z to infiltrate this community. Like, they're doing stuff like that. So it's like, okay, Cat Williams, you put a lot of people on the map. I just don't want them to like break him down so much that now you never see him, because he's not a big person. Like he's not a person that's like how people look at Kevin Hart. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, you gave some insight, but now I don't want nothing to happen to you. Because you just blew the wig on a lot of people. Yeah. He's a Virgo. Okay. Yeah, September 2nd. Observer. My daughter's a Virgo. My girl. They got a lot to say. Yeah. But I think you make a great point. I think that Cat Williams is, it seems from the outside looking in, is not a person that fears much when it comes to the backlash, because he's always been, I feel like, unapologetically him. I think that's one of the things that I really like about him is like his, I don't know, like attitude. It's like, I said what I said, and you can take that run with it or not. I do appreciate that candidness. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, however, do believe that there are a lot of things that occur in all industries behind the scenes that we don't know exist. You don't know until you know. One of the things that popped into mind is that whole Illuminati conversation. Yeah. And it's like,
The Illuminati, huh? Like, I'm still like in kind of some confusion in regards to really what the organization is. I even asked my husband, like, is it really a thing? Like, he still don't have the answer. He was like, yeah, the fact that you asked.
It was supposed to be something, and then it turned into something else. I mean, you know how the colonizer story goes. You come into something good, and then you make it bad to work for you and yours. But it's like, me personally, like they said the Illuminati was really big, like when Beyonce came out with her first album, and then like remember Lady Gaga, bring the music back, put me back in the trance, because this music is trash, okay? Put me back in the trance. Okay, make me sign them down.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Like, I don't, whether the Illuminati is a thing or whether it's not, he had made some comments about it, and also mentioned other folks who were, a part of his experience or potential experience. However, I think that, this is cliche, but hurt people. And I feel like on some level, whether he wants to admit it or not, his feelings is hurt about something.
And that's like the hardest thing to come to grips with. Like, hurt people. So somebody who was hurt me, and now I'm hurt by that. And I want that person who hurt me to be dealt with. But the person that hurt them hasn't been dealt with. So it's just like a cycle of trying to figure out, how do I properly process these emotions? Like,
and it's that part, not only properly process the emotions, but in thinking about relationships, sometimes the things that we say to other people, do we want to perpetuate the cycle, right? As much tea as I'm sure I'm sitting on right now, I just feel like it's not necessarily my place to put somebody else out there unless it directly has something to do with me. A lot of the things that Kat was living in his truth during that segment, and that's fine. But one of the things that I was just like this is good entertainment, but when a real life is not per se, is because a lot of what was said really didn't have nothing to do with him. It was information that he knew about other people. Right. I feel like that's different. Right. I'm not about to let, for me, the cat out the bag on somebody else. Oh, I know that you pregnant by this other dude, so forth and so on. So, I'm going to tell the world. It's like, that don't have nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So whether I know it or not, I just don't necessarily think it's my place. Now, if I'm living in my truth in regards to something that I'm expressing that was done to me by you, then I think that's something else. That's me taking the risk to not only put you out there, but then to put myself out there. And if that's the case, that's the case. But I just feel like a lot of what was shared was like just a lot of gossip.
I feel like what if it was okay, so like tell us what you've experienced. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, it's not enough, that's not entertaining enough. Mm-hmm. So like you need to start talking more, because it's like everybody is so focused on views. We want the views, we want to get the money from the views, we want to go viral, and it's like going viral is not always the thing, because a lot of people lives can get disrupted from somebody going viral about a certain thing. And it's like what he said about Steve Harvey, it's like, come on now. Yeah. Like I watch the Steve Harvey show every day on Aspire Network. Like, I love the Steve Harvey show. But Cat Williams reminds me of like a few years when Quincy Jones did an interview, and he like talked about Michael Jackson, talked about Richard Pryor, and talked about everybody from his time and what they were doing. Mm-hmm. But the interviewer had asked him about his past. Mm-hmm. And it's like this whole, I'm not gonna talk about me, I'm gonna talk about everybody else. It's just you walking on a fine line. Like you walking on such a fine line. So I'm just like, I mind my business when it comes. Honestly, I don't care about people's drama. It's just it gets too overwhelming. It gets too overstimulating. I just want to go in the corner and be quiet. Yeah. But it's like I also understand that this is entertainment. This isn't a real life situation. Mm-hmm. It's recorded on a camera. It's edited. It's flipped around however it needs to be so that it can be entertaining for people to watch and for people to talk about and for people to subscribe and click the bell notification. Make sure you do that on Lotus Livin with Char on YouTube. Click the bell, hit subscribe.
Please do.
All right.
Because we got some good content over here. I want to go viral for the good things.
Yes.
I don't want to go viral because I name dropped or because I said something, crazy, and I know sometimes good things don't always go as viral as I feel like they should. We should have a lot of good news, a lot of good, put a light more so on the good versus, some of the other things. But yes, if you want more content like this, please like and subscribe, and download, because we are on all platforms. But yeah, I definitely think that it wasn't coming from, it was coming from a place of hurt. And, I think if anything, we should definitely just make sure that we are conscientious of how we are treating folks, because we never know that the power of the tongue is powerful. I know that my Bible says that it is the most powerful weapon that anybody could have. What you say off your tongue, you can speak life into someone, and I feel like you can even speak death, right? And so when people may or may not know certain things about you because they've experienced it in your presence or shared it or whatever the case may be, you just never know what they're going to do with it. And sometimes it depends on how you treat them. I'm not saying walk around eggshells with nobody, but I'm saying be mindful of your circle. Be mindful.
Everybody doesn't stop looking at relationships like Instagram. Everybody don't have to know what you're doing.
They don't.
Like, only certain people. And I saw something on Facebook today that was like, don't tell everybody your business, even your family, because they can talk about you too. And it's like, you tell somebody, I'm trying to do something good, I'm trying to open up this wellness retreat for the community, and they're like, oh cool, and they're bad mouthing it. Like you said, the tongue is the most powerful weapon. What could be happening behind the scenes in regards to now I can't get this started because I done told everybody, and everybody I told is not 100% for me.
Not 100%
so it's like you gotta find your tribe. Like they say it takes a village to raise a child. Yes. But I feel like that child needs to find their tribe of good people around them. 1, 2, 3, 4. It really doesn't matter how many. But you gotta be careful with who you talk to, what you tell them, and what you do around them.
Because they'll keep it in the pocket for an opportunity. But the thing is that if you are taking care of yourself, if you are pouring into yourself, if you are treating yourself well, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, intellectually, environmentally, if you are pouring into your own cup, your overflow is going to be what you put into you. You're going to have to give it to other people, right? So what you want people to have in their pocket is all the good shit you doing. Not how you disrespected them, not how, they have all of this tea on you because you're cheating on your spouse or significant others, got a whole nother family or two, or, that you robbed them of their scripts and, you did this or did that. You stole from them, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
You want the good, right? And let me say this. On the flip side of that, there's nothing wrong with being quiet either. People going to name drop whether you doing good or not. Good, bad, or indifferent. Because we don't have control over somebody's perception or experience of us. We might even think we're doing good. And someone can flip that in a very negative way, right? And that's their truth and their experience, and that's fine. But it's all right to be silent. You don't have to respond all the time when somebody says something about you, right? I bring that up because just like the Cat Williams interview, there were some folks who decided not to respond, whose name was dropped. But there's also a little beef going on right now between Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion. And I saw a post on Nicki Minaj's page one of her most recent posts, she put up, somebody had responded. It was actually, it may have been a tweet. I'm not on X at all. I will never get on X. It's just not my thing. Like, you'll know that social media for me is like, we have a love-hate relationship. I wouldn't even be doing this podcast if I didn't feel like it was going to take me to the next level with being on the radio. But because I'm not a journalist, I was told, you got to do a podcast so you can, create XYZ. Okay, I do it. And I love it, y'all. I love talking to y'all. I love talking to y'all. So don't get me wrong, I was starting to enjoy this process, but it's one thing to be sitting here and it's another to be, taping and, Brad producing the back of the camera right here, editing it and putting it up and scheduling it to come out. That's a lot of work.
Yes.
I like doing it. I don't like doing it. Then you gotta post, you gotta put the short stuff on Instagram, you gotta promote. That's a lot. Instagram is tiring me out. The social media is tiring me out. However, like everything is good within balance. Good within balance. No shade to it. However, of course, to my understanding, people can put up their tweets from X onto Instagram or whatever the case may be. So somebody responded to something that Nicki Minaj said, and this person said, my thing is, and he or she, I don't know who it is, at the Stallion, you can't say, in quotes, a hoe better not address me, in quotes, and when they do, you silent the whole time. You went live for Kelsey and Party, but now acting unbothered for Nicki. So just in case you don't know, a lot has been said in regards to, Nicki coming at Megan Thee Stallion. Megan, released not too long ago a single called Hiss, where she pretty much, kind of came out and in her creative way was able to share certain things in regards to the case that she had with Tory Lanez, in which she was shot and he was convicted of this crime, and her best friend at the time, Kelsey, that is who Nicki was referring to in her original post, was supposed to be present at this event, and it's just been so many things going on with that. However, I don't know really the logistics of the relationship, but to my understanding, Nicki was friends with Tory Lanez, so I guess she took a side. Is that what it was? Okay, so what's the beef?
Oh gosh, where's the microphone? Reporting live from Lotus Livin with Char.
We are at the Lotus Livin.
But Megan Thee Stallion, when she started off rapping, she wanted to do a song with Nicki Minaj. Mm-hmm. And she was she was really talking about it. I say Megan was manifesting it. I feel like when you really talk about something, you're manifesting it. Mm-hmm. And she got on live with Nicki Minaj, they did a song, and then she did a song with Cardi B, who is Nicki Minaj arch nemesis. Mm-hmm. And then Nicki Minaj got upset. But then they're saying that there were things behind the scenes that happened at the video shoot. Nicki Minaj was I'm trying to get pregnant, I'm trying to have a baby, so I can't be drinking. And Megan was oh girl, you can just go to the clinic. And her husband overheard that and got upset. And then the whole, Megan got shot and she's lying and she's a pass around in the industry or whatever. But that's that's why they don't like each other. But my whole thing with that is people keep bringing up Nicki Minaj's age. She's 41, she's 41, she's 41. And remember how you said hurt people hurt people? Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of both. I love Megan Thee Stallion because she's an Aquarius. Megan make me feel like a baddie. Nicki Minaj make me feel like a baddie with money. Mm-hmm. She just made me want to throw hundreds at people, throw money in people's face. Anyway, I like them both, but it's Nicki Minaj is a female rapper who has never won a Grammy. She's only won BET Awards. She's only won MTV Awards. To me, she's a talented lyricist. She's very creative, but she's never gotten that recognition. Mm-hmm. And then you have people who were like, I want to feature with you, I want to do a song with you, I want to do a song with you. And they get a song with her and they going #1 and they getting all these accolades and people was talking about them. And it's like, well, what about me? I've been doing this for 15 years and y'all still upset that I didn't give Little Kim her recognition. I said Lauryn Hill inspired me. Like, what's the issue? So it's just like, I understand where Nikki is coming from with the hurt. I don't understand or agree with how she's going about speaking on it. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to a person who's older than you, I'm going to always expect that person older than me to like take me under their wing. And if I can't fit under that wing, we don't, whatever, then just let me go in peace, because I'm going to let you go in peace. But it's just, it's so much. It's drugs involved, like it's drugs involved, it's alcohol involved. Both of them be under the influence like it ain't nobody's business. So it's just like, it's just all this going back and forth. But what's wrong with Megan being quiet now? She said in her song, she kind of contradicted herself. She said, I don't have to address nothing, and then addressed everything. But it's like, in the beginning of the song, she said she don't have to address nothing. She addressed it, and now she's not saying anything. Hopefully she keep going in the booth, because that's what rap beef is to me. Like, y'all need to be in the booth going back and forth. But like Nicki Minaj talking about her mom and like stuff like that. It's like, now we're getting too hurt because you're upset that your husband is a registered sex offender. So it's like,
I think that the way we go about it. You know? Because at the end of the day, regardless of age, and I know sometimes like we don't really want to talk about the standard that we set for ourselves, but there is one. There is a unwritten expectation that we are supposed to support each other, right? As Black women, we don't have nobody else.
But is it an unwritten expectation that we're supposed to support each other, or is it an unwritten expectation that we're supposed to be competitive with each other? Because
no, that's written. Society has placed that expectation on us. You know, we're living in a very individualistic society. We're Americans, and if you are born in this country, you are already in a situation, unfortunately, in which it is about competition. It is about the strongest or the fastest or the smartest. It's never a collectivistic, like the US is not a collectivistic society. That's not what this is. Very individualistic and competitive driven. So we're born into that. However, that's one culture, but then we have many subcultures, and one of the subcultures of Blacks and African American, indigenous people of color, is that we are technically from collectivistic societies in which we're, family oriented, community oriented. Unfortunately, we lose it already out the womb because of where we live, and so it is important in our personal families and relationships that we kind of hold on to some of that. If you were born into that, that environment, that collectivistic environment, I think that I don't have to like you or agree with you. How I talk to you behind closed doors is one thing. How I'm gonna talk to you in front of the world is something totally different. Respect, though, I feel like is a requirement. We don't respect each other no more, y'all.
And why do you think we don't respect each other?
I think because we've lost the meaning of what respect actually is versus what like actually is.
I really feel like social media has done such a number on us. Like, it's done such a number on us. When you go on Facebook and you see your memories and you see the things that you used to talk about. Like, sometimes it can be embarrassing. You're like, why am I telling people that I'm going to sleep? Like, who cares about that? But then there's some things where you're like, Well, I never cared about that. Like, I care about it now.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is that? It's because when you're scrolling, like, your eyes are taking in everything that you like, that you don't like, you like, you don't like, and then you're now applying that to your life. Yeah. And it's like, it's done such enough between entertainment with reality TV and social media. Yeah, it's done the Black community. Like, it ain't too as much justice.
Really,
like,
for real, we're like really overexposed to a lot of different things at this point, and it's unfortunate because I feel like, you know, when I think of people like Megan, like Nicki, like Cardi, which I love, oh, the powerhouse they could be together.
But if you look at like where their lives are right now, you can understand. Like, do you believe that like 90% of the people in your life are just like you? Like, you attract people that are just like you in a way?
In a way.
And it's like, I feel like that's what it is with all three of them. Yeah. Could be Beyonce too. She just quiet. Yeah. But it's like, Megan don't have her parents. She don't have her grandparents. She don't have nobody. Yeah. She's literally like a pawn in the industry right now. Like, whatever we can give her and make her do, we gonna do it. She don't have nobody in her ear that knows her that's like, do this and do that. Nicki Minaj is just, she's in her marriage, she's the breadwinner, so she's like the queen. She has this big masculine presence that's like, you gonna bow down to me, you gonna do everything that I told you to do. And then you have Cardi B, who's a bit insecure. You can tell she's insecure. As many times as you got your face done, stop. Like, that's an insecurity thing. And it's like, but then we're expecting these women to all come together to show us what a Black woman or a female powerhouse could be. And it's like, no, we can't even do that in our communities because we're looking at them. So it's like, I feel like when it comes to the industry, when it comes to entertainment alone, it's like really hard to sit there and be like, I want to see you do it so that we're all inspired from her. Like, when people are like, oh, you can't, Sexy Red can't be singing that. It's kids listening to her music. Kids shouldn't be listening to her music. We should be monitoring what our kids are doing. If you want to listen to Sexy Red as an adult, do what you want to do. Yeah. But it's like, we can't keep putting these people on a pedestal that are at the same levels that we're at mentally, physically, spiritually. Like,
and I agree, you know, 100%. They're human. They're human. And they're not absolved from hurt, disappointment, messy relationships. But you don't have to speak on everything. Right, and you don't have to feel compelled to respond, even if what the person is saying is not true, even if what the person is saying is not, you know, they're dogging you, they're trashing you. You know, their silence is a way of communicating, right? And it's just as much as this is a thing right now, it won't be next week. Right. You know,
it'll be a new
it'll
topic.
Be something else. You know, I think you reserve dignity. I think you reserve energy in responding. But, you know, I think this was a great conversation today. In regards to the social dimension, I think, you know, what I want to leave with in regards to that is we are much more effective when our relationships add to us. When we add to relationships that we have. Everybody brings something, but everybody is not meant to be in your life, in your circle. Be cognizant about what you're sharing, what you're doing, how you treat people, how you treat yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Pick your battles. Don't respond to every little thing. You know, respond to what you feel compelled to and convicted to. However, you know, sometimes we have to leave misery where it is. They love company.
Yes,
that's not a place. That's not a house I want to go to. So no, thank you. But we definitely have to treat each other a little bit better. We are responsible for each other, whether we want to believe that or not. We are, and I think if we take that stance a little bit more, some of this cattiness and gossipiness,
that's such a tough pill to swallow.
It is.
That's such a tough pill to swallow.
And I'm not, I'm sitting here having a conversation about it. Not that, it's particularly gossip in this way, but I think when things happen, it triggers certain conversations that we need to have. I think everybody, whether you're Cat Williams and Shannon Sharp, or whether you Megan and Nikki or Cardi, has experienced, something relative to this, where, you experienced something with someone, or, engaged in a conversation, shared a secret or two, and it got back to people it wasn't supposed to get back to.
Yeah.
But, if a person doesn't have any respect for themselves or any type of discretion in their own lives, what makes you think they're going to be discretionary when it comes to you and your business?
Right.
Not a damn thing. Okay. So, what a way to tackle the social dimension. No shade to anybody else. And I think that's more than enough.
Yeah.
For today.
Yes.
Okay. So I, for one, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mercedes, for always engaging me in these intriguing conversations. But I hope that everybody got something from it today.
Yes.
Take care of each other. Pour into yourself. Try to live, the best balanced social life possible. And this means to be considerate of, ourselves and others, because we do have that responsibility. So I'm going to leave you with Lotus Livin with Char. What is Lotus Livin? You might ask me. It is defined. This is actually a definition I made up myself. Don't be surprised if you see this in Webster's at some point.
Period.
But Lotus Livin is transcending existence by intentionally creating and sustaining a well-balanced lifestyle, overcoming adversity, and contributing to the well-being of mankind while embracing the evolution of who you were meant to become. I hope that we all embrace this Lotus Livin lifestyle and balance ourselves socially and throughout all of the other 8 dimensions. This has been Lotus Livin with Char. Peace out.